I believe, hold on. Yeah, okay. So, we're good to go now. After sitting here in silence, SanFran has finally graced us with their presence. And, let's go, lads. Alright, so, as for the two teams, London, no one really expected them to get this far, at least I didn't, but off of the back of their team really seeming to find a good amount of synergy in this playoff bracket, especially off of the back of a lot of those gigantic tank plays from both Wesley and whoever his partner was at the time. They're hoping that they can try and relive that success here now against a seemingly newly dominant SanFran, who was at one time considered one of the worst teams in the league, I think it's fair to say, has now risen above, has now gone so far. Now some people say it's off the back of a single man. The team themselves say no. As a unit, we are stronger. We're going to see just how much Distance can try and carry his team this time against this fighting force that is London. With a dive defense, pretty interesting setup here. Andy, already ready to harass the GOATS lineup of the enemy team. He hacks Zarya, so that's going to be no bubbles, but Andy's going to be out of that fight for just a little bit as well. He has to translocate away. A lot of damage coming out here on both sides, but as long as no one falls, it's still going to basically be a huge advantage for the side of SanFran. Distance here, waiting. He knows that he's a little bit exposed, and Turbo Kermit is the first to go down, and so will Wesley also follow in his footsteps. It's just a simple fact that London did not have a composition that was nearly at all prepared to deal with this beefy GOATS team. And we see that now the side of SanFran have 4 ultimates all revved up, ready to go. Meanwhile, all that the side of London has is really the lowly Rally. Rally might be enough to keep them alive for just a little bit longer, but I can't imagine that'll do too much. No, they're depending on Andy here. They're depending on Andy to be the one who gets in that splash damage now that Farah has such a higher, faster ray of attack. They're hoping that he's going to be able to cut through all of the healing that the enemy team has, or at least grind up his ult charge fast enough to make up for it, but he's just not doing it. He's not finding the connections. Meanwhile, on the ground, everyone on his side is slowly dying, but Wesley finds the kill onto Distance with that Diva Bomb. That's pretty huge. They want this to start going in London's favor. The question is, as the other Diva Bomb comes out, it's going to find Andy. That's pretty massive for the side of SanFran. Andy was coming up on that Diva Bomb, or coming up on that barrage, and if he had gotten it, this might have been all well and done, cooked in the oven for the side of London, but now he's back and he's ready to get things revved up. Question is, how much will it find? It manages to find 2, but everyone else on his team is kind of dead. It's on to Cyber, trying to survive for as long as he can with the pocket of Conaldinho. Conal, trying to get a res off, he just manages it with the help of that armor pack. Andy, back up in the skies, trying to soar like a bird, sting like a bee. Will get the kill onto Distance. Even though they had to give up a tick to do it, still going to be London holding first after that first attack. SanFran in a much weaker position than they were initially. Considering that before they had 4 ultimates, now they only have 1 ready to go, but they're coming up on eBuds' Diva Bomb yet again, and this time Wesley will not have his in time for this fight. Turbo Kermit has this slam. He expects the enemy team to go up top and wants to try and get a flank shatter, but they're just not going that way, at least not at the moment. But now they're starting to stage up there. They see where Turbo is after he just flashes his shield, though, so the flanking shatter he was going for, it's not one he'll find. He doesn't need a flanking shatter as long as he can just go for a straight and narrow, find the connection right when he needs to. Eye of the Kermit. Andy gets caught out away from the rest of his team and melted by Thrash Dude, sucking away. 6 ultimates on the side of SanFran, ready to go. This one's going to be happy about that Diva Bomb, give him a little bit more Zarya charge. At this point, it's looking like SanFran is completely dominant in terms of the ultimates that they have, in terms of numbers. Fact is that if London can't find something here, any sort of respite at any point, it's going to be all she wrote for them. They're coming up with the Zenyatta ult, trying to keep everyone alive, and now Wesley trying to get Bree mech'd, but he's just not going to find it. Turbo Kermit is going to see an opportunity. He goes down for the slam. He only manages to find one, but he gets nanoed. Bit of an odd little thing there, but he manages to confirm the kill onto onto 2 supports, and Thrash Dude finds the third. This is going to be London somehow surviving 6 ultimates to keep a hold of this point. However, in the process, they are going to give up another tick, something they probably would not have liked to do, and Wesley is just barely going to get back in time. Fact is that E-Buds over here has managed to do a good job of helping his team stall out this point. They were considering going in for a round 2, because the numbers were still looking to be in their favor a bit after they all got speed boosted right back to the point, but they had to give up at some stage. Andy's still in the air, still trying to do all the damage that he can. The question is, how much will he really find here? Well, off the back of that share, he's hoping to find a lot more, but it's just not connecting. 62% to his charge. It's not a bad place to be, and now he wants to melt Dough Pickle. Now he doesn't want to melt Dough Pickle. He's going away, trying to survive the Diva Bomb. Bit of a weird sort of location that was placed on there, but not a weird place at all for Wesley's bomb, which manages to find Ben Soccer. Now Wesley wants to go after distance, but he's basically getting pocketed by a Coalescence, and it's going to be really difficult to kill someone through all that, but you can't get pocketed by a Coalescence if you can't even heal. That's what's going to happen as soon as that anti-nade goes on to him. Side of London still managing to hold this. 2.5 minutes left to go. London kind of looking to push out a little bit. They don't want to just leave SanFran to their own devices. They kind of want to get a little bit of ult charge, give them a kick in the rear on their way out the door. Andy has his barrage ready to go. The question is, when's he going to find an opportunity to use it? It's just a simple fact that SanFran has been running goats this entire time. But when exactly are they going to recognize that maybe against this Pharah they're just not able to get anything through? Barrage won't find much of anything, but Turbo Kermit will make up for that by getting a pin on a Dragonborn. He'll die for it himself. With such a huge spawn advantage, I don't think that he's going to mind too much. Andy's still back and trying to do a little bit of damage, but see the ultimates all coming online here. Currently 4 ultimates per team, but it's going to be 2 less now as both supports go down. Rodri before he's able to pop his ultimate, Cyber as soon as he does. Ko now trying to keep Turbo Kermit alive, but you can only keep him alive for so long. He's hit stunned out, and now the Transcendence will also help to keep him alive. They really care about keeping this main tank in the fight. They know how big of a key he is in order to restabilizing here, but he'll fall as well. Andy pretty low to the ground. He doesn't want to miss these shots. He knows how important it is to get these those rocket hits in order to get back that ult charge. But ultimately, it's going to be London not managing to stay on for too long, surviving for a pretty significant amount of time. There's only so long that you can go, considering how long they had to defend. Roughly about 7 minutes or so they had to defend point B, and still managing to cut the time bank down to 49 seconds. Not bad. But now it'll be London's attack, and they did themselves a good favor here by keeping SanFran's time below a minute, because now all they have to do is cap both points, and it'll at least go into the overtime rounds. They have Con out on this Ana. They might be expecting defensive goats, or they might just like the skills that he displayed on the Ana to begin with. He did a good job getting good anti-nades onto players that really needed it, getting the nano onto turbo Kermit in times of desperation. But now he's swapped onto the Lucio. They're going a sort of pseudo goats comp here. They decided it worked for them, why won't it work for us? Dragonborn is on the Mei. SanFran runs Mei basically every map nowadays. It's looking like they still want to keep that going. He's looking at an opportunity to try and wall someone off. He knows that as long as he can just do that, he's going to be in a pretty good place to start with. Walls them off. It's going to be the tanks and some pretty good separation in general. With all that done, there's no way that the side of London is going to be able to reconvene here. Unless they figure out a way to deal with or bait out that Mei wall. They're going to be in a stuck place here for this entire round, as Houston was in their last match. Yeah, they have Andy back onto this Vara. Worked for them before. More importantly, it can't really be hindered by that Mei wall, so it's not a bad idea whatsoever. He is going a bit low to the ground, and he plays a very low to the ground Vara style, and while it can work, it is a bit risky. He has the pocket, but over there in the rest of the fight, his team is going down, not managing to make much of the distraction that he's being to the opposing side's healers. Andy's staying a little bit too low to the ground. He'll get taken out. Distance has the Graviton, so even if Dragonborn fails with this Mei wall, it won't really matter. They'll still be able to zone the enemy out just anyway. Looks like they might be going for a flanking Graviton surge. Yep, he's in this backline. He sees the bodies, so he goes directly for the kill. Wesley was naded, so there was no way he was going to survive that, no matter how much in the way he got of pocketing, and Conout goes down as well. Five ultimates now online for the side of SanFran. Meanwhile, all that London has is Andy with this barrage. Now swapping onto the dive tanks. And he's going to be looking for a chance or an opportunity here, but honestly, it's going to be so risky. He manages to secure the kill onto Dragonborn. Considering the side of SanFran has no res, that's going to be pretty nice to have, but they're looking to even up the scoreboard here. It's currently a 6v4, make that a 5v4. Wesley in the baby form gets taken out. It'll just be going more and more the opposing side's favor. Nano boost comes out, basically a res in disguise, but it also gives you a very large, very angry, and very powerful German man if you give it to him. Rodri securing a kill on a Dill Pickle. A bit of an interesting Graviton surge there. Whacking above it, whacking at it like a pinata. The Reinhardt manages to find Conout. There down will go Zarya. Rodri decides to pull out this Transcendence. He wants to secure this point for his team, and while it was a bit overkill, he will do just that. E-Buds is now on this Widowmaker. He's decided that Andy should be pretty easy to take out, as long as they just have a good enough hit scan to do it, and he's the man for the job. He sees him. They should see each other now, yep. Now Andy knows he has to play this a bit cautiously, but meanwhile, Turbo Kermit getting executed. Trying to keep the Diva alive or do a little bit of damage is Cybersaurus, and manages to at least cut through and find the kill onto Thrash Dude. A lot of ultimates coming out here for the side of SanFran. They do not want London to even get a single tick here, and it looks like they're going to succeed in that journey. E-Bud's now blinking, flashing around Roddery. The help of the Fire Strike will finish off that kill, and now Conout doesn't manage to escape. Question is, will Turbo Kermit face the same fate? And he will. Andy also getting chased out. He might be clipped here. Yep, E-Buds goes in deep to enemy territory to secure that elimination.
I will not fail again.
3 supports for London. Turbo Kermit on the run. And we have Cybersaurus swapping off of his support onto the Tracer. And he's going to be in a bit of a weird position here. It wouldn't surprise me if he uses Barrage and swapped, considering that he doesn't have anyone who could pocket him for healing. He's in a bit of an odd place to begin with. They want to take out distance on this Zarya, but they'll be the ones who are killed with the Pulse Bomb Grav combo coming through. Cyber's trying to cap this point by himself, or at least get a tick off, but he gets spotted out, so this isn't going to be a free this isn't going to be free progress made for London. In fact, Cyber will get killed on his way through the escape hatch. Both support ultimates are here for SanFran. Both these support ultimates are so good at helping their team sustain. The Nano Boost can keep one person specifically alive and help them do a lot of damage in order to even the playing field if things do start going south. And Dill Pickle has his ultimate in order to keep his team alive in the worst of times. They're going to need that pretty soon, as they're now in numbers disadvantage. Thrash Dude goes down. Only one healer left remaining for SanFran. That is Dill Pickle. It wouldn't surprise me if he decided to use his ultimate right about now, but he's just not popping it. And he'll take him out before he has a chance. However, the fact of the matter is that this is still not London getting the kills nearly fast enough. Now dueling Cybersaurus. Meanwhile, over here on the point, things are not going London's way. The blows are trading fairly evenly, or at least they were, but with the spawn so heavily in favor of SanFran, you can't be trading blows evenly. It has to be a clean swipe, a quick guillotine to the enemy side. Not even a tick. Yeah, it's like the Thanos quote. All that for a drop of blood, but they didn't even get the drop. They're now aggressing onto the point. Running a Goat's composition now. They decided that playing the far just wasn't working for them, but they have to contest with so many ultimates that they just really don't have. They're lucky to have Conout on that Lucio for so long, so he will have the sound barrier to keep them alive. That's about all they're going to have to show at the moment. Turbo getting way deep into enemy territory, helping Distance get the final blow onto himself. Two sides are dueling here, but Ben Soccer just isn't dying, and you can't have that if you want to capture 2 CP. If your main tank goes down, you have to take out the other sides as fast as possible, because otherwise, especially if it's a Reinhardt, you're going to leave the door open for something like that Shatter. At this point now, Frozen Bodies on the payload, Frozen Bodies on the point. West is going to manage to find the kill onto E-Buds, and somehow London is just not dying here. I don't know what about their comp is sustaining them so well. They won't be able to do it for that much longer as they're all purple. The bomb should keep any and everyone off this point for just a little bit longer. Will they be able to cap this? Dill Pickle is the final obstacle standing in their way, and with that, they'll manage to take it. Trivia, you make me cringe. Yeah, that's fair. I know that they're running goats. I know that they're running goats. But if everyone gets frozen on the point, is actually standing still, you should at least be able to focus down the Lucio, who at the very max should have 300 health. with the Brig armor, and again is standing still. Lucio OP. Yeah, you got me. As we go into the overtime round, and London is going to be the ones who have the first attack. Looks like they might be considering running Andy on this Pharah yet again, but this time giving him the pocket of Konad. 2 main healers and a Brigitte. Pretty beefy composition here, even if it's dive. Andy's already in the enemy team's backlines. Manages to secure the kill onto Dragonborn. Now they see Ben flailing around like an absolute mad lad, but will he manage to secure any kills? Not before Turbo Kermit gets one onto Thrash Dude. Dave Pickle evens up the scoreboard. The rest of his team will start putting it in their favor as well. 20 seconds left to go. It might just be better for London to go for a retreat here. There's no way they're going to be able to win this fight, and if they get staggered before they have an actual chance to get a full regroup, they're going to be suffering for it. They managed to find 2 kills though, so it's not going too poorly for their favor. As they take out Dill Pickle, it's going to be Turbo Kermit now, finally getting the support of the rest of his teammates, and London will cap A. Now only one ultimate on the board here at the moment, that being Turbo Kermit's, but as far as game-winning ultimates go, the one that we need to be looking for is Ben Soccer having at least close to this Shatter. Considering that the only thing stopping his Shatter is Turbo Kermit's bubble, which is easily popped, should be pretty easy for him to at least get a few people in a Shatter. Thing is that they just have to focus on getting that done. He finally finds the Shatter. When we see an opportunity, he finds one. 3 people down. Meanwhile, Andy also getting a kill onto Ben Soccer himself. Trading fairly evenly, but trading evenly will only be in favor of SanFran. Again, this time the spawn is in their advantage. Distance will pull out the Graviton Surge, keeping the Wild Monkey basically trapped in a cage. Rest in peace, Harambe. And now, it's going to be unfortunate for SanFran. They have to, if they want to win this game, not only cap first, which granted they did manage to do very well their first time around, based on the Suprised Goats comp that they ran. They'll have to cap first with only 2 minutes remaining and cap at least a tick of second. Andy's going to be back on this Sombra. Not that it did them much in the way of favors last time. A lot of Sombra's real utility clearly comes from having that EMP to like just win a clean fight or get an execution if Andy can manage it right here. Gets the hack onto eBuds, but he'll go down for that. Not the other way around. That's going to be a 5v6 in favor of London. SanFran sees no problems with just going straight to this point. Roderick gets the kill onto Dill Pickle though. Tries to even up the scoreboard, but there's only so much that you can do. Now it's just going to be Cyber trying desperately to keep things going for his team. Andy thought about going to contest, but he just has to give that up. Now, the best that London can do is tie. And the worst that SanFran can do is tie. Minute and a half on the board, that's enough for at least 2 pushes. Distance spraying in a little bit of damage, at least trying to. He wants to get this Graviton. He knows how important it'll be in actually securing his team this victory. Notice that SanFran, they're kind of, it looks like they're burning time here, but really what they're doing is they're just gathering up ult charge. They only want this to be 1 attack. They could have gone for 2 if they went in faster, but they all want to put all their cards on the table in one go. Distance gets trapped. He still has this Graviton. Dragonborn finding kills off the back of his sights. And now, as the Grav comes through, supports go down. It's going to be SanFran taking map 1. It's merely the fact of, I think that London just didn't learn from their mistakes after the first defense. I'm not quite sure why they still thought that running the Sombra was a good idea the second time around. But they decide that they need to run it, so sometimes it do be like that. Now, second map is going to be Nepal, and now I have to look at the laundry list of orders that were given to me in order to put in some swaps. Grub for Roddery. Okay. Roddery. You're out. Grub. You're in. And as far as SanFran goes, distance, ebuds, bin. Distance, ebuds, bin. Drizz. Why aren't they in the game? Let's see. Thrash is not in the second lineup, so he'll go out. Cobear is in the lineup, so he'll go in. Oh wait, what the hell? Okay. No. They gave it to me in a weird order. Thanks, boys. Okay. Distance, ebuds, Kite, who's still not in the game. Okay. Distance, ebuds, Kite, Thrash is in. Kobe, Drizz. Not Dill, so I'll take him out. God, I hate... Okay. So SanFran basically gave me a list. SanFran gave me a list of, for this map, these players will be in. For this map, these players will be in. Not only is it kind of annoying, because then I have to look at, instead of them just telling me who to swap for who. But now, the people who are on the list to be in this round aren't even there. Like, in the spectators. So, So you know. Add Kite27 and try inviting him. What do you mean? Okay, Kite is in. Thank God. Dragon out, Debink in, Kite in. Dragon out. Kite in. Who is Debink subbing in for? Debink is Driz. Okay. Alright. I just need to see this. Just give me the PSNs, please. Okay. So now let me go through this. Distance. Ebuds. Kite. Thrash is in. Thrash is in. There he is. Okay. I'm blind. Thrash is in. Kobear is in. And Debink is in. Now that we've established this, we're good to go, right? I think we're good. If there's a problem with this, bruh, Resident Sleeper. Yeah, I know, I'm aware. Okay, so yeah, we're good. And if we aren't, the pause button exists for a reason. Yes. Debink in. Kite in. Yes, what about this? Our subs aren't red in Team Spectator. Jesus Christ. Who cares? The absurdity of the idea that people are actually like stream sniping, or that people are actually like spectating in game and then in a party like telling their team about it. How absurd. How ridiculous it is. It's not like this is a league for money. It's not like there's a prize pool. It's not like any of that is a thing here. It's literally just basically a league for fun. Why do we suspect so many people of like stream sniping and stuff now? Gross. Anyway, both teams run dive. Neither team really looking to boop anyone in, I guess. Well, I mean, ebuds, I suppose. Both teams have some heroes that can boop the enemy side into either hole, but we're not seeing the sort of normal Orisa and Hog compositions that you'd normally expect. Ebuds doing a lot of trash damage, but as long as you can't get a kill on that, it's not really going to matter. Meanwhile, Distance in a little bit of a brawl with the Brigitte. He's looking for a little bit of damage on the Grubmark. Now going to contest him. Wesley takes the punch for his Hanzo. He's going to be looking to get a little bit more damage here. Andy, it's a pretty classic part of the London lineup here in terms of being their main sort of damage dealer, but at the moment Turbo Current is the one who's on fire. Andy coming up on this Dragon Strike, and this little crick of a doorway might not be a bad place to use it. He sees the opportunity and goes for it. Gets a lot of damage and zones the monkey away from the rest of his team, so they'll find Colbert. Turbo Kermit now giving chase. The rest of his team gonna slink back in, happy with their results. Happier now that Andy gets a 1D onto Thrash Dude. Distance is spotted. He wanted to go for a flank, and now it's going to be a little bit of a duel here. He might get booped off, but he has the cooldowns to save himself. Anyway, we all know what happened. So Grubmerk not only pushes a lot of people off, but we'll say basically pushes off Distance as well. At 80% to capture now. And the flank coming through, but not really finding much success. Is Turbo Kermit going to use this ultimate? Might not be a bad call. A lot of ultimates are being played right now, and he'll do it to get his team the extra sustain that he thinks that they need. The slam still comes through regardless, and now Distance wants to try and confirm a few more kills than he has been getting so far this round. Does a lot of damage to Grubmerk, and he'll finish off the kill. Still just doing a little dance of death around all of the enemy squad, and it's looking like SanFran will at least get one capture onto this point. So far at this stage, it's kind of just London struggling for no good reason, but Turbo does manage to find Colbert. Colbert will, he'll be able to get back just as soon as Turbo is, though. So it won't be that huge of an advantage for London. The fact that SanFran is lacking their main tank for a couple seconds. Distance has this seismic slam. So he might be going in deep and use it, and perhaps will use it as an escape mechanism if he thinks that the opportunity strikes. Wants to get the kill onto Cyber, pushes him off the map. Dragon comes through, and the frozen body of the Winston almost gets booped off. Andy now trying to confirm a few kills here. Will finally finish off Colbert. Doomfist escapes to safety using his ultimate. But how safe can you really be? The sides are still trading kind of evenly, but now London, with both support ultimates being activated, are hoping to switch things up here, but support ultimates can't really save you from the overwhelming damage of a Diva Bomb, and Turbo will be taken out. Wesley almost has his bomb as well, but he just won't be able to find it in time. Now it's 60% here. A lot of tiny bodies on the payload, or a lot of tiny bodies on the point, but the ones on the side of SanFran will win out yet again. Now it's 70%. We're essentially at least close to last fight territory here. Basically in it at this point. Andy will make things a lot easier for his team finding the first kill onto Distance. Now as the Diva Bomb comes through, he'll find Colbert as well. Currently a 6v4, hoping to make a 6v3 as the Binks mech gets taken out, and then so does the Baby Diva. The point has been captured for London. All they have to do is keep the rest of those bodies off the point for just a little bit longer. Colbert will be rezzed, but Distance is the only person not dead for his team. No one will be able to touch. London will take the first map of Nepal. Distance is now going to be on the Pharah. Pharah in general on this map is pretty strong, because Pharah just benefits so much from the open air and spaces and different ways that you can hide behind and pop up from buildings. A lot of natural cover here for Pharah. Let's see if Andy will be able to deal with it, considering that he's kind of the only person who has the range. Unless Cyber and Wesley managed to find an opportunity where Distance is a bit too close to the ground for his own comfort. Now they see Distance is weak, so they take him out immediately. Meanwhile, over here, the rest of the fight is now getting pushed over. It's going to be London with control of the point to begin with. It won't be too long before SanFran has an opportunity to strike back at them. SanFran running a sort of pseudo-goats now. Goats with a Mercy instead of a Moira, so that's actually going to be a pretty significantly smaller amount of healing. They will have the advantage of Colbert having this Earth Shatter, though. He'll be looking for an opportunity to use it, and now he sees it. 4 people taken down, and now, with the help of the rest of his team, he'll find the rest. Colbert winning this fight for his team off the back of that Shatter. However, the progress is still going for London right now, and Turbo is going to try and keep that status quo for as long as he can. Manages to get a few more vestiges of ult charge before finally falling. Now it's going to be London who have a lot of ultimates lined up and ready to go. Con out the first with his rallying call. However, the Graviton Surge will come through. Bit of a mess of bodies, but Colbert in that mess will manage to pick off Cyber, and the rest will fall shortly thereafter. A team wipe. SanFran will hold on to this point a little bit longer, and notice that because so many people were so tightly condensed and it was so easy to get a lot of damage down, basically everyone else on SanFran also have their ultimates now. Bombs are coming through, as are dragons. Nothing will really connect any kills though, at least not so far. Yeah, we see all of the ultimates used on the side of London for not a lot in return. Turbo Kermit trying to survive, but Lucio's healing cannot outdeal the suck of the Moira, apparently. Grubmerk will fall. As the main tank goes down, things are not looking good for London. They did manage to regain control of the payload, but... God damn it. They did manage to regain control of the point, but... how good will that really be if you can only hold on to it for about 13%? Distance is going out, facing the enemy team, basically on his own. A little bit of damage will be dealt to him for that decision, but it won't be enough. Andy also pulls out the Dragon. Does a lot of damage, enough to take out the Bink, and notice that everyone else on SanFran was also incredibly low. They're going to try and keep themselves sustained with that Lucio ultimate, and now the bomb finds 2. Both supports. It's going to be quick fight to the death, as now both sides only have a modicum amount of healing. The London have a large amount of this point. They want to hold on to that as tight as they can. Colbert coming up on the Shatter again, kind of just standing still. Colbert can find the Shatter. It'll be the end of the fight. This is the last fight territory. Now Colbert going to get behind the enemy squad. He gets thrown back. If he can just find opportunity, but all it finds is the wall of the shield. Both sides losing 1 though. Andy pops out his ultimate. Turbo needs to use his. SanFran will not even touch. London will take map 2. It's currently 1-1. Jesus. Turbo Kermit did seem to basically have sound barriers all the time relative to the rest of his team, and that was quite in favor of what his team ended up needing in pretty clutch situations. Now the question is, will we be getting any subs here? Let's see. Yeah, I know, Turbo. I'm checking to see if there are subs. Cyber out. Okay. Cyber out, Roddery in. Roddery, you're off the bench, son. And now, the third map that we are going to is going to be Hollywood. Halloween version. Perfect. Cyber out, Roddery in on Hollywood. SanFran is running distance. Ebuds. Kite. Thrash. Colbert and Driz. Okay, so looks like we're all good to go. No Halloween map. Yes, Halloween map. There is no difference between Halloween map and otherwise. No Halloween map. It ruins the competitiveness. You losers. Jesus Christ. If Hollywood being on Halloween settings loses the competitiveness, then why exactly is it played in comp right now? Literally, it is the comp map right now. Jesus Christ. The difference is Spooky map is better. You're right, Dakota. It does not mess with rollouts. It is impossible for it to mess with rollouts. The only change that is the only map that's ever been changed for a theme that wasn't like completely cosmetic was Eichenwald losing that little place where defenders could run away to at the last point. That's literally it. You can't ultra jump with Doomfist on the first car on choke because there isn't a car. Really? You can't ultra... Huh. You know what? I guess you're right, Iwa. Yeah, I take back what I said. That is the legitimately one thing about this that changes. You also can't shatter under car. Well, I mean, look. Look. I hate that you can shatter under cars in the first place. Yeah, I know, under the hay. Yeah, I know what you meant. Look. I hate that you can shatter under cars in the first place. So if anything, that's a plus as far as I'm concerned. But I get it. We want to play so Distance can do all of his rollouts that he practiced for 18 hours. That's fine. It is what it is. Triple dive tank, Doomfist for SanFran. Meanwhile, anti-dive for London. So these two teams are going to have pretty interesting time going toe-to-toe with each other as Distance gets melted. Andy will also find Thrash Dude. Two teams kind of staging at this point. Andy in position to go for another elimination. We see a couple of swaps have come through for the side of SanFran. Distance goes down first. He might get rezzed, but first a duel that Andy will lose. But he'll get rezzed shortly thereafter, so won't be too upset about that. Goes onto the ground, wants to take out Distance, kind of just finds a reflect there. Meanwhile, yeah, it's looking like London struggling here to find much of anything. SanFran will take the first point. Interestingly enough, not with Doomfist. So did it even matter? Not with Doomfist, not with Orion ult. So did it even matter? Colbert will die first, but it's not really going to matter that much. The payload has barely even started moving. Distance kind of caught away from the rest of his team, but he sees so many people are weak. Grubmark taking a lot of time without getting much in the way of healing, and finally he'll get double pocketed. Ebuds has popped these sites, so at least before everyone knew where the side of London were, and even after he loses them, it's plain as day to see Wesley standing about, looking for a kill onto Conald, and we'll find it, then onto Andy. Ebuds also looking to find Turbo Current. That's a 3K for Ebuds right now, looking to make it a 4th B and just find the body of the baby. It's a pretty good Widowmaker map, and Ebuds is showing exactly why that is the case. Andy struggling to duel him, wanted to maybe go for that health pack, but perhaps decided he didn't have the space to do it, so instead he just slowly dies. Turbo Kermit now on this Doomfist, dueling the monkey with the help of West will secure the kill, but it's a whole lot of nothing happening right now. It's a whole lot of very little. It's just the payload slowly moving out of place here. It just seems like London don't really know when or how to take a fight. To be fair, last time that they tried to, Ebuds basically popped off half of their heads. So I can't blame them for being a little bit cautious about it. Distance is now on Soldier. Soldier, once again a viable hero, but apparently not against the might of London. Gets taken out very swiftly. Ebuds up here, Angel of Death, finds the DMAC, finds the baby, finds the Conald. Now looking to find the Lucio as well. The progress has still not stopped here, despite it initially being a 6v5 in London's favor. They weren't able to follow up. Wesley has this bomb, in the event they wants to use it. In fact, he's going to have to pretty soon. Interesting place to put it, I'll say, and it manages to at least find Colbert. Now wanting to try and eat up the tacked sights of Distance, and will do a lot of damage to him in the process. London's at least going to get a foothold on this point. Granted, they have to hold on to it for 3.5 minutes. Ebuds popping his infrasight, so he knows where everyone is. Wants to take a quick pick onto Turbo Kermit. Turbo Kermit kind of tempting fate here at the moment, dancing around when the enemy Widow can see exactly where he is. Distance is now back on the Mei which, again, kind of personified SanFran's strategies against Houston. Now Ebuds, perhaps going the complete tonal opposite of the Widowmaker, now on Reaper. Keeping Grubmark away from the rest of his team, but he'll still get the bubble. little bit of safety and protection there, but the slam will only connect with a brick wall. Will the bomb find anything? It does not. All it'll do is basically be the equivalent of a zoning ultimate. Now London, with so much healing, so much shield, should be in a good place here until the opposing side also pops their support ultimates. Things are getting a little bit hairier for them now. London has to commit a lot to this fight, just as much as SanFran has so far. Both teams know that this is such an important little brawl that they're having right now, but the first to fall will be Ebuds, and now Colbert. That should be well and done. The spawns are completely out of favor of SanFran, so there's no way that they'll be able to survive this, and it looks like London wants to kind of give chase as well. Distance, however, did manage to get his Blizzard, and considering just how close to the end this payload is, and considering just how important having a really strong zoning ultimate can be in these types of situations, that might be all that they need against the 3 ultimates that the side of London will have. Walling off the Reinhardt from the rest of his team, allowing him to get pinned right into the brick wall, right into the ice wall, I should say. Ebud's also getting some good cleanup here. Roddery is the only person left remaining, almost a team wipe. As soon as he goes down, that should be it. No one will be able to touch in time. More than a minute. With more than a minute, SanFran gets it to the end. It's going to be a really huge favor for SanFran that London let them cap with more than a minute to go, because now, granted, SanFran wants to burn out all of London's time and not even let them get to the end. But if they can just stop London from capturing with any time left remaining at all, then London won't even get a chance to recontest. It's looking like they're picking a pretty high damage comp here. It's a bit kind of weird, to be honest. Usually in this type of comp you'd pick something like, if you wanted a Bastion, you wouldn't have another high damage hero, you would have something maybe more consistent, or maybe something with a bit more utility, like say a Sombra, because Sombra would be able to support the Bastion in ways of hacking the enemy shields or hacking divas who might be trying to attack the Bastion, things like that. But instead they're just going for 2 very high damage dealers here. It'll be interesting to see how London deals with that, considering that at the moment they're running goats, which in unfortunate circumstances can fall quite fast to the Bastion. They see the approach, and now the side of London will know that there's a Bastion there. They just cross as fast as they can, and Distance puts himself in what he considers a much safer position. So much distance that London will have to cross now just in order to reach him, and so much time they'll have to melt the opposing squad. A tick already captured, but how much will that really mean if you lose the fight? Well, apparently it'll mean a lot, as they also get a second tick. Wesley will be the last to die. Never mind. Roddery will be the last to die. There it is. Roddery will be the last to die, but with 2 ticks acquired after only a minute, London will have to at least be kind of satisfied with what they managed to pull off there. Distance now has his Bastion ultimate, can completely change the course of a losing fight. He knows where they're coming from. The question is he going to move again? Okay, so they expected him to go down to the same place that he did before. Distance almost getting bursted down here. He has such little health and will finally go down. He'll get res very quickly, but no longer has the support to help him. Turbo Kermit, along with the help of that diva, will melt him the rest of the side. Basically 5 minutes to go to capture the rest of this. distance swapping off of the Bastion. Never even used his tank configuration ultimate. And Ebuds is now swapping off of the Hanzo as well. Colbert swapping onto the Reinhardt instead of Orisa. A lot of swaps being made here, and now London wants to get very aggressive. So far the sides are trading evenly. That bomb won't do London any good favors other than forcing out the Transcendence, which they should be pretty satisfied with. Bink here has this bomb ready to go. Colbert has this shatter if he ever decides or sees an opportunity to use it before he goes down, which should happen fairly soon, but there it is. Redmark manages to get the kill, but he also isolates himself from the rest of that team with the Mei wall, separating them. Conald with the support, by the way, and Roddery with the support, by the way, both kill the DPS heroes on the side of SanFran, hoping to even up this fight. Thrash Dude will pull out his Transcendence, perhaps a bit late into the game. But Colbert, finding the opportunity, will put things back in his team's favor. Two teams are kind of just staging here. In fact, it feels like this entire time it's just been a constant back and forth of two people will die and then the respawns will come in, and then two people will die and the respawns will come in. It feels like it's been that way this entire time. Something's got to give. And as the payload moves closer and closer to the spawn doors of SanFran, eventually their numbers will win out. Wesley has his Graviton, Andy has his Bomb, and Roddery has his ultimate. In fact, basically 5 ultimates coming online, really, for both teams at a certain stage. And Ebuds descending from on high to get in these executions with the help of that freeze. So much damage onto Conald, he never had a chance. Roddery tries to keep as many people alive as he can with that Coalescence, but can't really do that. 120 health per second does not help keep anyone alive through that Reaper ultimate. Now 4 ultimates online for London. Ebuds going back up top. This time they know where he is. The wall comes through as well. Bomb manages to find Thrash Dude, and a lot of damage done to the rest of the SanFran team. No one's really dealing with Ebuds. They don't think that he's that much of a threat to be taken care of, at least until the rest of the trash has already been cleaned up. They're leaving Conald, the only person on the point. They want to push into the enemy side spawn. However, that leaves that other alternate route open and available for exploitation. Thrash Dude pops his ultimate. 50 seconds left to go here. Slam comes through, finds 3. It feels like the side of London has just been stuck here on this little stretch for 3 minutes. And it feels that way because they have been. Despite coming into so many fights, having 4 ultimates to their names, they've never been able to actually secure anything with them. Ebuds wanted to fall down on them with his ultimate, but instead the only person he'll fall down on is Roddery. The Blizzard comes through, there's not enough time, only 5 seconds left to go. They're going to try and stop them from even touching. Turbo Kermit should manage it, only body on the payload. Now Andy joins him. A couple more ultimates here for London, but they still have to be willing to use them. Wesley coming up on his Graviton Surge, also 100 charge, a lot of bodies caught in it. He'll get the kill onto 2 of them, almost finding the Reinhardt as well. Grubmark puts down a slam, but it doesn't really find much of anything, as opposed to eBuds trying to put the kibosh on this, not only with an ultimate that finds 2, but also helping to secure 2 more. Connell tries to run back onto the payload, but it's all said and done. SanFran in a 2-1 lead. Listen, I know that Distance never died that last fight. I know that that's kind of insane. But the person who was doing all of the damage was eBuds. The person who won that round for them was eBuds. Cyber in, Grub out. Alright. Oh boy. Everyone is telling me the roster changes at the same time. Distance and Driz are both telling me the roster changes and lineups for SanFran. And oh boy, it is kind of annoying. Ben in for Kobe and Dylan for Kite. So, Kobe is out. Kite is out. Ben and Dill in. Alright. It's looking like we should be good to go here. I'm pretty sure that's all of the changes, right? But hold on. Cyber in, Grub out. Got that one. Yeah, alright. So we should be good to go on to what may be our final map, which is Gibraltar. Now, Gibraltar, I don't like most of the maps that we've played for this entire stage, mainly because we've been playing them for an entire stage, but I do still like Gibraltar quite a lot, because it's always been the site of some of the most interesting rounds, and also, God, Driz, you can't send me this stuff. Okay. It's always been the site of some of the more interesting rounds, and also, you can really not run goats on it. So, that's nice. It's basically impossible to run goats on Gibraltar, because it's so high ground centric. And now, I believe that we're basically good to go. Not Distance on Gibraltar. Oh boy. For any of you who didn't see the game that SanFran had against Houston yesterday, basically, SanFran completely shut down Houston because Houston didn't know how to deal with the fact that May ice walls exist. And I think there are plenty of reasons you could say towards the credibility of Distance maybe being a Smurf, right? There's plenty of things that you could say towards that. I won't get into them because I have been asked not to, but I will say that if you will count anything as evidence for Distance being a Smurf. That is certainly not one of them. That was literally Houston running into a brick wall over and over again and hoping that eventually something would just work itself out. Ebuds on this Widowmaker. Andy back on Sombra. We saw him try and run this on Amira, and it really gave not a lot in the way of success, if we're being quite honest, but hopefully this time around he'll be able to find the way to crack the Sombra code and figure out what he needs to do here. You see dive tanks coming in from both sides. Andy might be going for an early kill. He could find one onto Thrash Dude. First he goes for the hack, a bit of an interesting call, but he still gets the kill, and now the rest of his team have a pretty big numbers advantage, which they could certainly go in on. Wesley goes in, but he goes in alone and will be demech'd for not having any protection. Ben is now on this Soldier 76. Turbo Current blitzed down by Thrash Dude. Progress being made for SanFran. Wesley still trying to get back into his mech. It seems like he's been demech'd for quite a long time here. Now Distance going in deep. Distance actually on the main tank roll. I hadn't realized that until now. Now as he goes hulking out, trying to cause as much chaos as he can. Manages to do just that and get the kill onto Roddery. And now this should be a pretty easy position for the rest of his team to basically secure the first point. Wesley will get remech'd, but how much can he really do here? Basically alone now that both supports are down. Ben pulls out the tactical visor. Fortunately for him, this is not a target-rich environment. In fact, it is a target-weak one, as all of his opponents are already deceased and buried. Ebuds got the final hit on the con out, and just in general, we see these players being staggered out here. Roddery will go down as well, lined up perfectly for a headshot from Ebuds. Turbo Kermit has his ultimate, and he's going to choose now as the time to use it. Wants to bully Dill in this corner, but kind of lost track of him after he Guardian Angeled away, and now Turbo, so little health, might want to retreat for a little bit, but the rest of his team says no, we go in deep. As the hack comes through, this should be London getting control of this payload once again. Wesley decides that now is the time to bomb. Manages to land it right in the middle of a shield. Turbo Kermit almost kills the bank. Ebuds has the Widowmaker's sights. He doesn't really want it. He just wants to take shots at the already exposed Conaldinho. Really all that will be is a good, helpful tool for the rest of his team to figure out where they should dive to get more of these staggers. Roddery slowly regaining some of his shield, but he was in a pretty dire position just a second ago. Now he has this ultimate, chooses now as the time to pop it. They want to stop SanFran from capping second if possible. Now this time around, Ben's going to find a lot more targets in his sight lines as long as they manage to not get behind that cover or get taken out by his own teammates first. Turbo Kermit has his ultimate, so he can also bring things back in his team's favor if he can just survive for long enough, or maybe confirm a few kills or cause a little bit of destruction. Wants to go for that Zen, now in a pretty weak position though. And Ebuds, what are you doing, buddy? Ebuds showing up all across our kill feed. Doing a lot of well done damage, and now looking for the final shot onto Andy. He won't find it, but it'll put him in bug zapping range. Does the same for Rodri. Ebuds going on a little bit of a killing spree here so far. Ebuds showed himself last time around to be pretty well up there with the snipers of Houston. And now, with no snipers on the side of London to really contest him, he's hoping to have a little bit of an easier time with it now than before. Andy goes onto that Widowmaker, but he'll go down to Ebuds. The Dom manages to find two, both DPS down, so London has the opportunity to come back onto this point, and they will gladly take it. With 3 minutes left to go, they need to take any advantage that they can. Distance is kind of hanging around a bit too long here, I think.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Alright, I'm back. Don't even talk about it. Anyway, so, good for side of London. They managed to stop SanFran from making it all the way to the end. So, now, all they have to do, basically, is cap all 3 points for this victory. And now eBuds wants to copy what the opposing sim did in the very beginning and get a one clip onto their Zenyatta. And he will succeed, perhaps a little bit better than the opposing side did last time around. Distance a bit caught out, away from the rest of his team. He'll have to icicle. Now he's left without much in the way of defenses. Turbo Current goes in deep, caught behind, or caught in front of, I should say, that wall in enemy territory, and now it's going to be London having to take a step back. It's a one kill, it's a one shot on the distance, but Andy will die himself. Both major damage dealers for this team are taken down, but one side having this mercy res and the other not, going to come quite in handy here. Andy goes in deep a little bit past his shield, but still manages to get saved. He sees eBuds coming through and wants to take him out, or at least force the retreat. Through the wall, the Dragon Strike will come through. Could do a lot of damage, but the Orisa manages to get away, and Andy will leap straight into the Blizzard's thaw. Fortunate for London, still 2.5 minutes left to go. They're not in a necessarily bad place, but they're not in a great one either. They have to contend with not only the Diva, well, no, we don't know if the Bank has a Diva Bomb or not because he's a baby, but they have to certainly contend with the fact that eBuds has this ultimate online, and now we see the Bank is very close to having his Diva Bomb as well. For this EMP, they could go for a quick kill onto Roddery, putting things incredibly in SanFran's favor. eBuds is just waiting for the opportunity. He's looking around. Where did the Zen go? And finally finds him, but not fast enough. He'll have to retreat. Goes for the pin. Manages to connect it. Been soccered down. Now Turbo Current wants to follow up the kill on distance as soon as he gets cooled off. Get it? Because he was frozen, so he was cool. And then cooled off. You get it. Anyway, connects the Fire Strike as well. This is looking to be not a fast, but a decent point capture of the first point. If they can just manage to get a little bit more damage done with the barrage, certainly a good dent made in the defense of the opposing squad. Pin onto Dill Pickle. Slam comes down. It's going to be point A. Resident Sleeper. No, you. Almost gets the pin onto Ben. That would have been pretty huge. Looks like Ben might die in another capacity, though. They manages to find a health pack for 75 more health. On a 500 HP hero, it's not going to mean much, but it'll at least keep him sustained for long enough for his healers to come back around. Currently in a 5v6, Distance hoping to make it a little bit worse off for London than that, and it looks like he's going to succeed. Not only freezing some, but also walling off any survivors. In all essence, it was a team wipe. Now they're just leaving Wesley to slowly die. Now the question is, will London fall to this wall-off strat in the same way that Houston did before them? They know that these walls are here. They know that they're coming. They found distance. Andy gets frozen. Wings completely frosted over. Distance trying, find something, but it's the Bink whose bomb basically manages to certainly put this to bed. Team kill. SanFran basically already won before the bomb went out, but that just secured it, and will also be completely disheartening for the side of London as well. Distance doesn't want to be too predictable here. He knows that the strat last time around was to go up and look for the freeze before it actually occurred. He tries to get the jump on them, but all he'll get is a rocket to the mouth. Andy has this barrage, but he'll die before he can use it. No one can really heal him other than Roderi's Orb of Harmony, and that's not going to be enough to survive that Diva if it's close enough. Slam comes down. He wants to go for the kill onto Thrash Dude, and he'll get that much done. Doesn't look like Distance's freeze found anything other than Wesley, but that should be enough. Two main tanks now being run on London's side, and just having that much healing will not necessarily be enough to put things in their favor.
I will not waste this opportunity.
Andy still has this barrage. He's still holding it over. He's going to see Distance, knows he has to be careful of him. It's basically going to be the last chance saloon for the old London team. They see that wall, so they know that it won't be walled off this time around. Andy has been hacked. The bomb is coming out. Doesn't find anything, but still, Andy being down is going to be such a huge bane for London. So he's going to get rezzed, or at least the attempt will come through, but it'll have to be denied as Konal decides that he can't die here either. Distance going down, the Banks mech falling. London will still get a chance to aggress here. They have a pretty arduous road ahead. At least 3 fights probably before they'll manage to get it all the way to the end. And Distance wants to end it right here and now. He has the Blizzard to do it. And Andy managed to kill himself, I suppose? In either case, it's a 6v4 right now. Make that basically a 6v3. As it winds down, it's looking more and more like SanFran are going to be the Stage 1 playoff champions. SanFran, they beat the best team in the league. They beat the finalist, or the counter finalist in the playoffs. They got all the way to the end and managed to take it from London. Now, as for interviews, I can interview West, but I can interview West. However, it feels kind of rude to interview the losers of the playoffs. Alright, well, sure, I'll interview West in a second, but first, because they were the winners, I'll interview someone from the side of SanFran. Because Distance basically completely denies interview opportunities, he wants me to interview the Bank. He wants me to interview with the Bank. Yeah, I want to interview E-Dubs, or E-Buds. Yeah, E-Buds time, lads. Should be interesting. We've gotten a couple of different perspectives from the SanFran team. It'll be interesting to see what Distance's DPS partner thinks, not only of their victory here, but also of some of the allegations that have surrounded, perhaps haunted their team for quite a time. Won't let me join. What do you mean it won't let you join? What do you mean? Invitation sent to eBuds. What do you mean it won't let you join? Try again. Interview London first. Alright. Sure, I guess. In which case, we all know who it's gonna be. I have now invited West. Andy wanted an interview. No. Okay. Of course. Clearly. Depends on if your voice is shared right now or not. Are you gonna make that mistake again? Again there, Wesley?
Not again. I've learned. I'm big brain now.
I would certainly hope so. So, while we wait for Conout to get here to give you a reassuring handhold, let's go ahead and
There he is.
first,
Is your voice shared?
yeah, both
Let me check.
both of you.
Yeah, it's on.
Alright, so that's one of you.
Mine should be on.
Good enough. Alright.
Yeah,
If no
my
one
voice
here
on.
can hear two voices, just say something. We'll figure it out. In any case, so you guys have just lost the
Indeed.
stage 1 playoffs. So
Yup.
tell me what you think about the game that just went down in general.
I thought we got one more map. Well, we got one more map than I thought we'd get, to be honest. So it was all right, to be fair. Quite glad we took the foul, especially with Grubb's Primal Rage, where we thought he might have been feeding when he got walled off.
Probably the funniest thing I've ever seen, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. We struggled a bit to impose ourselves because I think they prepared quite well for what we usually do. But yeah, it was Nepal. Obviously, it wasn't that close in our favour. But to be fair, Hanamura was close, and then I think they rolled us on the last two maps. To be fair, so
Now I
I think it was
noticed
just small
that.
margins as well. Correct a few things, and some of those maps could have gone our way.
Now I noticed that a few times around, you guys seem to want to run Andy on Sombra, and as far as I could tell, it never really seemed to pan out. Was that a little bit of a strat that you guys thought was like the way to counter SanFran, to counter distance?
I think we were
perhaps
looking for
specifically?
like some of the heroes' distance plays, such as the Doomfist, the Genji.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted the Sombra to shut down those. Because obviously he is their best player, so.
shut him down, and it'll make things a lot easier for us.
Yeah, but the first time around when they ran on Hanamura, when they ran that goats comp, it just so happened that it's pretty hard to
Yeah,
shut things
we
down
weren't
when
really
you.
prepared for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of thought that after how well we defended it against, well, yesterday, they wouldn't come out with goats to try to play a bit of a mind game, but but unfortunately they came out with goats, which when you've got a Sombra as your only DPS, or did we have someone else in DPS? But it isn't great.
Yeah.
So.
Just not enough of that burst damage, even if you do get a good hack. Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking for the 3 dive tanks that they've run previously in other games as well, so that was another reason for the Sombra.
So you guys just kind of planned for everything but goats. No one ever plans for goats.
Pretty much.
So, just kind of in general, you guys think, in all, you're happy to have even won the map that you did, and that you think with maybe a little bit more preparedness, you guys maybe could have come back around and maybe won at least a second map or the whole thing. Is that basically what I'm reading here?
Yeah, I think we made a few minor mistakes, like going triple healer without a Brigitte at points. Which, when we realised we were on that, it was a bit odd that we were running that. But other than that, yeah, just a tiny few corrections, and another DPS player would help because we're kind of forced into comps because we have one active DPS player. So.
Well, in any case,
SanFran played really well.
Yeah, as I think we could all see, it wasn't just the distance. Ebuds on the Widowmaker, Gobert found a few pins and showers himself.
Hollywood played very well on that map too.
So, well, at the very least, this was just basically a game for bragging rights, and at the very least, you can brag that you're one of 2 teams that managed to make it to the finals anyway. It won't exactly affect your league standings, so at least you have that much going for you. And now, a little bit smarter about your competition going into the actual main season games that will matter for the map differential. So,
yeah.
Gracias, boys. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and get Ebuds in here if his PS4 decides to work.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Colbert? It's Cobert. I have called him Cobert, and he does not like it. He puts like a French pronunciation on it. Colbert. So sue me. Alright, let's see if Ebuds' mic is deciding to finally, or if Ebuds' mic is finally deciding to start working. Hello, Ebuds.
Hello, dude.
Now,
it is. It's
do
allowed.
me a favor.
It's allowed. It is. I checked. It's always allowed. So.
Okay. So,
I watched the.
Yeah. Alright. So, you guys clearly have won the game. You are the Stage 1 playoff champions. What did you think of your competition along the way here? Both Houston and now London.
In all honesty, after we played Houston, which was really difficult, we knew that we prepared for London really well. We knew they would run some different types of things, mostly goats. But we knew that they would expect us not to run goats since we don't really run goats, so we ran goats. And it worked for Hanamura.
Yeah, I just talked to the London guys, and they specifically said that they planned for everything but goats because they didn't expect you guys to run goats after watching the VOD. So you outplayed them in that sense.
Oh yes, and they really, when they ran that triple support thing, they really didn't do anything against me when I was on that tracer. They just let me do whatever I wanted. I kept on shutting them down over and over. Houston really shut me down really well. I realized for London, they tunnel vision really hard. So
So you've kind of felt like as long as you could just be a bit of an assassin, bit of a just go in, get out, don't even give them time to react because they don't seem to do it that fast in the first place. You're basically fine.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
th- and then you had what we all saw was a really good Widowmaker game on Hollywood. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah,
I've been accused of keyboarding and I think on my other account I have the screenshots, but yeah, it took me about a week to get Widow down, just constant Widow practice, and going up against Houston, it was super difficult for me to run the Widow because I was super nervous. But after we beat Houston, I was like, I was super drained, but I don't know. Today I just suddenly just popped off.
well, I
Kind of
imagine.
random, but I can. Yeah.
I imagine it's gotta be a little bit easier coming in versus London, who doesn't exactly. They have Andy, who's a good DPS, but he's not exactly known in the AHC for his Widow play. So I imagine going up, basically kind of being an uncontested Widow, must have added a lot compared to playing against what I consider still the best Widowmakers in the league that Houston has.
Oh yeah. As Widow, they gave me a lot of space. They were really open, and Winston jumped in by himself most of the time, so we shut him down. Then they just didn't really go for me at all exactly. So it was super easy for me to do whatever I wanted again, because most of the team focuses on distance, and we kind of use that to our advantage. We always say use distance as bait and let the other, like everyone else, kill the stuff. So and it worked.
Yeah, so basically, give distance, like the armor packs, give him the bubbles because he's going to be the one everyone's shooting at anyway. While everyone's tunnel
Exactly.
visioning, just go around and do all the real damage. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, distance is fucking godlike. He's the one who actually made me play a lot of different heroes. Got me like super flexible. But what me and him do, we practice a lot, like super late at night. Just constant practice, and it's paying off. Because we beat Houston, and obviously we beat London, but it was. I thank him for that. Honestly, he's super chill dude. And
Alright.
he was the one who actually forced me to play Widow. So yeah.
Well, in any case, so you guys, one final question, I suppose. You guys did seem to still want to run the May from time to time. A little bit less successful, and a little bit less often than versus Houston. But, so do you at least kind of think, okay, well, maybe the May will finally stop being so successful now that we've kind of, I don't want to say famously, but famously for the league now, even beaten Houston playing it. Do you think that now you guys have to kind of adapt that strategy, or do you still think that London kind of struggled against it, so whatever, we'll just keep running the May?
I don't think it was really the May, but it's like how I said we used him, or whoever was on May for bait most of the time, and the walls they help a lot. Like on Gibraltar, yeah, we ran the May, but like the Sombra pick was really good against them, since like really no one shuts down my Sombra at all. They're all focused on everything else.
Well,
yeah,
I will say
GG's
that
to London.
yeah, you guys did manage to win this. It is basically all just for bragging rights, but the bragging rights are SanFran's and SanFran's alone. Well done, eBuds and the rest of the team. Hope that you all can have a little bit of luck dealing with some of the allegations and anger that has been thrown at your team from time to time. But going forward, next weekend we'll be back to the actual main season games. So, gracias, eBuds, Thank you everyone for watching, and that should be about it for us. Adios.